So for the benefit of the citizens that are here today, the microphones still have a technical problem, they're not working. So if you cannot hear, please let us know, and we will speak louder.
Just speak up, that's all I ask, as I get older.
Is that louder?
I do this.
That would be perfect, Susan.
I'm gonna invent elephant ears.
They used to have them.
Thank
Okay,
you, Mike.
you're welcome. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to have a public hearing and a call to order, and the statement is on the agenda. If you have one of those, you can follow along. In accordance with OCGA 48-13-6, the mayor and board of aldermen of the town of Turin will hold a public hearing on Monday, October the 21st, 2019 at 7 p.m. to accept comments on the proposed new number of employees-based occupation tax schedule. The additional funds generated will be used to defray general fund expenditures. A copy of the proposed new ordinance is available for review at the office of the town clerk during business hours. So now that's open for public comment. Any comments, please?
If there's no comment, then it'd be appropriate to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, the motion's been moved and seconded. Can we have a vote to see if we can get that passed? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. So we now need a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Is that right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can we have a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing is adjourned. So, let's see. And we also have a public meeting. It's listed by the. So, now we can go into the second public hearing meeting. Is that right, council?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we need to make a motion to open that, or is it open?
I would do that.
Okay.
I move that we open the floor for the second public hearing, a hearing on the water system.
To solicit public comments related to the Turin water supply well, iron and manganese treatment system project. Public comments are now open. And we do have, for benefit of everyone's education, we do have our town engineer, Brendan Jones, here to give us some information.
Secondary drinking.
drinking water standards. We have
homes that are being built and the closing of that water loop. Will that filter more of it out, or will that create an issue, therefore needing the water filtration system even more? More need for us to be burping the pumps or burping the hydrants?
no,
Is
we'll
that,
still be flushing normally.
in the future years, and let's just say in the next 10 years, is our system going to be antiquated and we're going to have to upgrade anyway, or is this, you see what I'm saying? Is it
I
do
can
you
tell
foresee
that
this?
the industry
That's all the questions I have.
Yes, sir.
We're getting it sounds like we're looking at getting a loan for $400,000, and you mentioned paying it back over 20 years. I'm wondering if the council has looked at how that's going to impact the water bills for the citizens of Turin, or do we anticipate that the water bill, there'll be an increase in the water rates to pay that loan back? Have you all looked at that?
I have that, and there will have to be a moderate increase in the water bill. Yes.
What do you consider moderate?
On the order of $5 a month per customer on the current customer base.
Now, we do have accumulated a substantial amount of water reserve emergency funds that would pay for almost all of this, but it's not a good thing to use that money up in case we really do have an emergency, like if the well shuts down or something. So we're holding that money back. So we think it's more intelligent to go about the loan process and conserve those funds in case we need them. Because we don't, this has been a year or so, and if the well goes out, we can't wait to fix it, so.
So the bottom line is we can all expect an increase in their water rates.
About $5 a month, I think, per customer. And as we get more customers, then actually maybe it'll go down to $4.50 or something like that. Or actually, maybe less than that, because the new 100 homes out here on Ridge Road. So Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm not sure how the system works, but as the town grows and is using more and more water, is the system that's being put in going to be large enough to keep up with the exactly how many Turin water customers we have at this moment? I know it's increasing. How much?
314.
Okay.
Which includes Sharpsburg.
Yeah, that's anybody on our system.
And I don't think we have anybody here from Sharpsburg.
What about maintenance, once you put it in, costs?
Yeah, there'll be ongoing operation and maintenance costs, and that's kind of built into the rate model, and the cost of operations built into that, for sure.
And that's done by Rusty or?
It will be, yeah, it'll have to be done by the water operator.
Talking about 300, what did you say, 14 customers, water customers?
Currently,
Are you going to be at the Sharpsburg City Council meeting November 4th to talk to them about it as well, since it would may possibly be an increase on their bills?
I'm not going to be there.
Okay.
I'm sure the council will have to, communicate that through, but, I mean, all the water customers here, it's the same system, so they're Turin customers and Sharpsburg customers, just like, last year.
So, Alan, that's a good question. I would think that the mayor has talked to the mayor of Sharpsburg about it. I don't know, but I'll get an answer on that and make sure that he's coordinated. They talk a lot about all kinds of cross stuff, so I would think it's been addressed to them, but I'm not sure. But I will find out. Any other comments? Okay, so with no further comments, then can we have a motion to close the public meeting?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Public meeting's adjourned.
Someone have a sign sheet for the meeting?
Okay. So, let's see, has the council looked over the agenda for tonight?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, can we have a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved for this evening. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. We have one for the September meeting.
Those did not get ready yet. We're still working on it.
Okay, so the September meeting minutes are not available tonight, right?
It's not.
Okay, so we'll have to table those for next time. We do have minutes for the October the 14th council workshop.
Yes, sir.
We do have those. Yep. So pretty much that was just a list of the items that were discussed. Any comments or adjustments to that? Nope. Okay, can I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the council workshop.
Second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. So, we're on the unfinished business portion of the agenda. So the railroad beautification right of entry for Coweta County.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem and Council, you've got in your packets a proposed right of entry. The town had approached, as you know, the town has entered into an agreement with Norfolk Southern to allow you to make certain beautification improvements on the railroad right-of-way. The town approached Coweta County about offering assistance with that project. The county agreed they would do that, and the first idea that was presented was that they would become a party to the town's agreement with Norfolk Southern. The county, however, after looking at it, decided that they didn't want to do that. They would rather just enter into a right of entry agreement with the town, whereby the town would grant to Coweta County the right to enter the right-of-way that the town has access to for its beautification and cleanup projects. So you have before you the proposed right of entry document that has been prepared by the Coweta County attorneys. I've had an opportunity to review it, and it would be my recommendation that you approve it and authorize the mayor to sign it.
Any questions from the council? Can we have a motion to approve the right of entry document?
I'll make a motion to approve the right of entry document.
I'll second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the right of entry document is approved. Ethics Commission appointments.
Yes, sir, you adopted an ethics ordinance which provides that you will each appoint one member to a panel of ethics board members, and then if an ethics complaint were to be filed, then 3 of those 5 members would be selected to serve on the ethics board. So you need to make your appointments to the panel.
So Renee, do we have all of the ethics people in here?
I have them all in your packet except for the one Clarence gave me at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, so I have Amy Jones,
George Harris and Larry Cook. Is that one of these? George Harris, Amy Jones, and Larry Cook. You said that was except for that one. Is that?
And Mac.
This one's,
Oh, and Mac.
I was
And Mac.
leaving that
And Mac.
Right.
beginning of the meeting.
good job. Okay, so we have those 3 gentlemen and 1 lady. Have you had a chance to look at those? Do you have any comments about them? And to our knowledge, we have never had a requirement to convene an ethics board, and hopefully we won't, but we think it's prudent to establish this in case we have to do that.
And by doing it, it allows you recognition by the Georgia Municipal Association as a city of ethics.
Oh, was that one of the conditions?
Yes, sir. That is the condition that you have in ethics.
Okay. So with that, let's see, can I have a motion to approve the appointment of those 4 people to the ethics board?
Did you make the motion?
I did.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And thank you very much, Larry, Mac. I think that's all. Amy? No, Larry. Okay. Thank you very much for serving. Hopefully, you'll never be called. That's our goal. Next item on the agenda is downtown parking plan. The mayor is working with that. I don't really think anybody else has any information to share with that. Do they?
No, we had discussed the fact that if we, due to the amount of traffic that's now traveling on, is that intersection, is it still called Turin or is it called Lacoja at that intersection?
Yeah.
Turin Road. That intersection is a dangerous intersection, and with the parking, even with the straight lines, it becomes hard to see without almost pulling out into the middle of the intersection, especially with cars coming down Lynch Road as quickly as they travel. I think that the mayor was talking with someone about possibility of having to come up with an alternate traffic plan for that intersection. So, and I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yeah. I know he's working with the county engineer, Todd Handley.
Yes.
About that, about how to restrike that. But I think last month there was still some question, maybe Todd Handley couldn't get to it, or they had some question about it, so.
That was the question, is that cars that park right there in front of the the embroidery shop, when they park there, cars coming down Turin Road can't see into the intersection. And even if you push the lanes to the right or over towards the post office, now you're forcing cars to pull further into the intersection just to see around the other cars. I think that was the issue, and he was trying to come up with a way to stripe it so that we would still have the same amount of parking, but maybe a less of a traffic hazard.
Right.
So.
Okay. It's actually a pretty picky problem to fix that thing.
I recommend that we put that over to our discussion in November, work session.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Occupational tax ordinance. We have a public hearing on that, and we had approved that already.
Yes, sir, you had your public hearing at your last meeting, you had the first reading of the ordinance, so tonight it would be appropriate to have the second reading of the ordinance, second reading and adoption of the ordinance, which would change the method of calculating occupational tax fees in the town from the current gross receipts method that you have to a method based on number of employees, and I think the schedule of the fee structure is that for businesses that have one employee, their occupational tax would be $100. For businesses that have 2 to 5 employees, it would be $150. For businesses that have 6 to 9 employees, it would be $200. For businesses that have 10 to 12 employees, $250. 13 to 15 employees, $300, and more than 15 employees, $500. So it would be appropriate to have a motion that this be the second reading and adoption of the ordinance. Okay. And that would take effect with the new year, the new license year in January.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. So can we have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to accept the second reading and adoption of the ordinance as it reads in
Thank
this
you.
document.
I knew there were two parts.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so the motion carries. Improving town signage. See, so Renee, you and the mayor are working on that. Do you have any comments about it?
The signs are supposed to be delivered this week, and we're trying to get, Coweta County to help us put them up.
Okay, but we don't have the signs yet. Okay. Any other comments on that item? So now we're going to go to the judge contract for the municipal court.
Yes, sir. Pleased to report that I spoke with Judge Stripling. He is willing to serve as the town's municipal court judge and hear any cases involving ordinance violations in the town, so it won't be necessary for us to appoint a separate judge and operate a staff and all that sort of thing. So I'm pleased to announce that. I have sent him a draft of it's going to require an intergovernmental agreement between the town, Coweta County, and Judge Stripling, which is what we had previously. I've sent him a draft of that, and we're working on a couple of revisions that he sent back. So it would be my recommendation that you adopt a resolution approving entry into an intergovernmental agreement with Coweta County and Magistrate Court Judge Jim Stripling for him to provide municipal court services for the town of Turin and authorizing the mayor to sign same agreement.
Okay. Did we get that?
Yes, I got it. I make a motion to approve an intergovernmental agreement for the town and the mayor to proceed with Judge Stripling becoming our city court judge.
And for the mayor to sign it.
And for the mayor to sign it, correct.
Okay, so we have a motion to do that. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
I see. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I do have a question though.
Yes, sir.
In that intergovernmental agreement, does it state whether we're going to have the court here or we're going to have the court downtown in the state court?
It's not set out in the agreement. That's something we can work out with him. That's not specifically stated in the agreement.
I just wondered if they were going to start holding court here or...
I think my understanding and my discussion was that he would come here and when necessary to do that.
Okay.
So Mr. Mayor, having done that, then we can move on with getting the code enforcement officer agreement with someone or advertising for a part-time code enforcement officer. But that's going hand in hand with the agreement. Do we know how much time we have to make that happen? And what's the contract is going to be done within the month, or it starts in January?
It doesn't start in January. I would anticipate that we would have it in place before then. I think it's going to depend on, again, it's got to be approved by the county too, so getting on their agenda, getting reviews and so forth. And Judge Strickland said that he would be the last party to sign it. He wants to make sure that the town and the county are in agreement on it first. I don't anticipate any opposition on the county's part if Judge Strickland's willing to do it, and he's indicated he's willing to do it. So I think we'll get it done, and I would anticipate getting all those approvals before the end of the year.
And saying that, then we need to, at our November meeting, we need to bring forth definite arrangements on that code enforcement.
Right.
We'll put that on that discussion.
Okay.
But I think probably as a part of that, we're going to need to look at ordinances that might be necessary to enforce those things that you believe are important. Because in the past, we've sort of said, well, there's no need in really adopting an ordinance. We don't have anyone to enforce that ordinance or any mechanism for that. So as a part of that, for that to be as effective as you want it to be, we probably will need to look at that as a part of the process too.
Okay, let's see, we were talking about changing our fiscal budget year. That would line up much better with the way that the county and the county digest comes out in late June or July. So, and we also, I think, we're going to wish to have a public hearing in November on our proposed 2020 budget, Renee. So that
Was that the 2020 budget, or is that just to cover the time period between December and June so that we can align ourselves with the county?
Okay, so the first part of 20.
The first half of the year, isn't that right?
That's when you intend to switch to a new fiscal year, then yes,
Well, I think
you
it
just
was
have it for that period
It
of
was to
time.
line up with the county, I believe that's what it was all about.
And the mayor asked me if we could ask you about that, how to set that up for the November meeting, whatever piece of that.
And I'll look at, I will look, there are, and I don't have the information at the front of my brain here tonight, but there are specific dates that are set out in state law as far as when the ad has to run, how many days prior to, well, public hearing has to be held so many days prior to the meeting at which you intend to adopt the ordinance, and the ad has to run so many days before then. So if you intend to adopt the budget at your November meeting, then I will look at that and back off as to when we'd need to run the ad and when you'd have to have your public hearing.
Okay.
And you know our newspaper is only published 2 days a week now.
Right.
Causes a little problem.
And actually, I think we need to have a work session to develop our budget before we get into that. So I'm thinking maybe it'd be more likely that we'll be doing that
In the December meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, but we do need to, you're right, though, we do need to have a workshop so that that budget for that first 6 months will be in place.
Exactly. So I would think, Mr. Mayor, that December is probably the time to have a public hearing.
Okay.
So we're not feeling crushed, and then we can make sure we get all of it, check all the boxes.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Okay, so do we need some sort of a motion or something for
No,
us to
I don't think so.
set that up? Okay. So then we're looking forward to the budget change, half-year budget document in December. Whatever, however that works out. Okay. So that's the last of the unfinished business items.
I know that it's not on the agenda, I just noticed that we had 3 applicants for zoning and planning as well. And I believe it'll probably put in there meant to go with the other applicants. I don't know if you wanted to speak on that.
I talked, the mayor asked if we could postpone that until he gets back, so he can speak to it.
Not a problem.
Okay, administrative update, new business. Renee, would you like to have any update? Do you have an update for the administrative portion? Okay, committee updates. We have a planning and zoning update. Yes, sir.
We have no updates.
No update, okay. And our town engineer is also the zoning administrator person, so he keeps records of all the planning and zoning stuff. Water system update. Well, you're really popular tonight.
We gave the update a minute ago.
Okay. Citizen comments. Any citizen comments? Nope. Let's see, council comments. I have to tell, this is just a side comment, I have to tell the mayor, it's much more civil if I do this than when he does it. Okay. Council comments, Clarence?
None.
Let's see, Michael. So, let's see, I'm not running for re-election, and so we're working on a transition plan for some of the major projects I'm working on to be distributed among the council, and we'll probably talk about that in the next couple meetings about how that's going to work. So, Mr. Stapp?
No, sir. No comments.
Fernando?
No.
Nope. And the mayor's not here to comment, so, let's see. Can we have a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second, all in favor?
We need to say what the purpose of the closed session is. If
Oh,
we're going
no,
in.
no.
I didn't know, he meant.
No,
Oh,
no,
to
close
adjourn.
session. Adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I'm sorry. Motion to adjourn.
I meant to say adjourn.
Get your verbiage correct.
No, a closed thing is where we get up and go away and talk about private things,
Yeah, we're not talking about.
personnel stuff, our litigation.
So we'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
That's a great idea.
I see.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good job.
Hey, yay, done. Over.
Time to go.
Yes, I just want.